All right, so this is our first problem in the series. So let's look at it. Two sums. Number one. Yeah. No, I'm good. All right. So given an array of integers, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to a specific target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. All right. So we have an array. It has a bunch of numbers. We're supposed to look for pairs that add up to 9, right? I guess one thing you could do is, add everything together. Like, add every, a number to every other number and see if it equals 9. But that's just terrible. Um, Another thing you could do is sort the array. So, you sort of reduce the space that you have to search because, you could just sort of, you but I'm not going to do that. Let's start. First, let's make this some ES6 because ES6 is cool. And yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing is, looping through, but as I touch each index, I look for the pair that would match up, to be equal to the target. So what I'm saying is, I start at 2, and as I loop through the rest of the list, I look for 7 because 2 plus 7 is 9. In the case where this 2 wasn't there, imagine that this part of the array is not there. It's just 7, 11, 15, and maybe some other numbers, right? I start at 7, and then I look for 2 in the rest of the array to see if it equals 9. Essentially, I just like look for a match, right? So let's see what happens. So obviously, I'm gonna need a for loop for I equals 0, I is less than the length nums dot length yeah I plus plus, right. um Obviously I'm gonna need something to store the pair that I'm looking for. So what I mean is, I start at 2. I'm gonna need a place to store the 7 that I'm looking for. If it was 7, I would need a place to store the 2 I was looking for. 11, I'll be looking for a place to store the negative 2 I'm looking for, and so on. Essentially, I need a place to store the pairs, right? And I'm going to use an object because objects have O1 lookup time and search. But yeah, I'm going to use an object because objects are faster. So they're faster than arrays. So let's say let table equal empty object. And also let's just create the array that we're going to return. Let array equal empty array, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if there's a pair that is already in the table. So what I mean by that is, if nums I is in the table. By the way, what this does is, it looks to see like if the current, like for example, it will look at 2 and check if 2 is in the table. But you see what I mean. Um, I'll come back to this later. Else, right? Else you want to do this, and then obviously at the end we want to return the array, right? So in this else statement, that's where we're going to do most of the work, right? But what I want to do is I want to store pairs and indices in this table. So essentially what I mean is I want to store the second pair that I'm looking for. I want to store the index that I'm going to find the first pair, if that makes sense. So essentially, if I were 2, when I start at 2, I would store 7 at 0. So that means that I will search the rest of the array for 7, right? And if I do find a 7, I know that there's a match at index 0 in my array. So yeah, let's do that. So essentially, the way you do that is table, right? And then this would create a new object, a new key value pair in the object, and we want the value to be the pair, right? And then the pair, to calculate the pair, would be table, or not table, it would be target. So target minus where the number that we're currently at, which is nums I, right? And we want to store the index to cert the index of the other pair, which would be I. I hope this made sense. And yeah, so here what we're gonna do is this is where we assign our array, right? So array is gonna be this, right? And in this first place, what we want to store is the index of the first pair. And the way we can get that is because, as you would imagine, nums I in table, that means like we check this table and we found out that there's, that there, so we started at 2 and we stored 7. And now we're looking for a 7. But here we find a 7, right, in this table, and we see that it is at index, whatever this index is, which is 0, right? So if we want to store the pairs, what we're gonna do is we need to get this first index, and the way we do that is a table, right, and then nums I, and the other thing would be I, because that's where we're at right now. So it's like we found the 7 at I, and if we check this table, we know that there is a pair that exists at index, And yeah, I believe this is all of it. Let's see if it works. Take this out, clean up the code, and run it. Does it work? What did we do wrong? What are you saying? Num? Oh, nums. Let's try again. Right, so I guess we just, finished our first problem. Let's turn it in. Yeah, we did it. Like and subscribe. I've always wanted to see that.